everyone. Today we are back with Dr. Shailesh Rastogi, who is now the director of Badruka School of Management, Hyderabad. Sir, I'm back with another set of questions. To begin with, you've spent years in research. Written somewhere around 330 plus research papers. And now you've also been a part of management and administration for very long. Usually people stop at, management and they don't do research. But how are you juggling between both?
Disha, to answer your question, this I have practically answered in my own mind and with some close circle of people. In B school especially, academician should be very practical. And I have very strong conviction, my very strong ideology on this, that a teacher should have enough understanding about admin. A teacher should be not only researcher but a good teacher also in classroom as well as outside the classroom. So I know I have been told this by many people, especially my students, and you are also my ex-student. So people say, sir, you are much more effective outside the classroom. So I'm not a classroom teacher practically. I'm more effective in outside the classroom. And research is my passion. At the end of the day, if you ask me who I am, then I'm a researcher. And admin, somehow I don't know whether I picked up some of my DNA genetically. I'm like that because my father was also in administration. So it is there. I understand admin like back of my hand, but I better understand because I have been better understand the B school administration, academic administration, because I was in the B schools for last 26, 27 years. And I have been part of very good groups. I have got good mentoring. So I'm lucky, you can say, but yes, I have the skill to handle all these. And I practically believe a good teacher should have all three.
Okay, now that you've mentioned that you've been a part of, good B schools for like 26 years, this is something which is bothering me because you have been a part of prestigious and established institutions. Now, what made you click, I'd say, or shift, I'd say, that you're starting over with just a 2-year-old institution?
Let me give you a clarification. I don't know how many of you, including you, know that Badruka started first institute, a commerce college, but practically when I'm talking about 1950, just post-independence. So the first commerce college in private sector, first college probably which is affiliated to a university, Osmania University, that was Badruka's first college in commerce college. So what I'm trying to discuss or share with you by giving this example, that Badrukas are not new, I'm sorry. They are rather one of the oldest. All my previous organization, I can name them also, but none of them are as old as Badruka. And please try to understand, starting a university affiliated commerce college in 1950 was one of the most impossible tasks. Badruka's Commerce College was first affiliated college of Osmania University. And again, that was not the end of it. The kind of money which Badrukas had to spend during those days, that is also pretty handsome. If you convert that money in present time, that would be too big. I'm not disclosing, that's not the important thing. So, clarification, this group which I have joined have celebrated their 75 years last year. They have completed 75 years in the education system. And over the year, what they have done, they started with Commerce College, then they started more colleges, and they started one MBA college also. So when it comes to business or business-oriented institutes, Badruka, they have started their journey in 1950. So when I have joined BSM, what is BSM? You can ask this question. BSM is one aspiration of the promoter's family, the father or grandfather. They wanted to have one all India institute. All these Badruka institutions, including the Commerce College, they have the regional presence in the combined Andhra Pradesh, you can say. So the aspiration is to start a B school which is at the India level, maybe world level. That is the only reason BSM was started. Again, did not start in 2024, it practically started the course. But the idea started somewhere in 2012, 2013. It fructified in terms of starting the program in 2024. So to answer your question specifically, Disha, Badruka School of Management does not belong to a group which is new to the education industry or business education. So we are as old as more than 75 years.
Okay. I'd take your word for it. But if you talk about B school specifically, which is 2 years old, and you know it for a fact that the conversations around placements and in general statistics of a B school, they dominate. So for you right now, what is the toughest part in convincing, I'd say, students or parents that they'd rather choose Badruka School of Management and not Badruka as a group for, B school studies or management studies?
Again, answer to this question is the logic why I joined this institute. If you look at B school education, good number of B schools are there. They are also deriving value. I was also part of good B schools, and I was also part of this value, proposition. But there is always a gap that value for money is missing. If you look at the fee and you look at the average salary which they are salary of average LPA which they are able to manage, there is always a problem of very low ROI. Let me define ROI also. Put in numerator the average salary and in denominator you put the tuition fee only. I'm specifying because there are many B schools which are not having the fully residential programs. So it makes sense to bifurcate. So numerator average salary offered by the institute divided by tuition fee. Average tuition fee, suppose there are multiple fees. That ratio should be more than zero point 0.7. That is what the industry norm, which I have with my limited knowledge. I can give you many institutes. I have done my homework well. You will find that good number of B schools, which they believe that they are doing great, they are undoubtedly doing great. But when it comes to value for money, you will find that their ROI is much below zero point 0.7. And if I just give you statistics of my 2 years old institute, where one batch has passed out last year, the effective fee, I know effective fee because we have offered scholarships and all, a couple of more things. Average salary is there on the website. It is 8 LPA. So trust me, no exaggeration, our ROI is already more than 1. I cannot disclose other things also, but trust me, average fee is quite low if I calculate the scholarship and all, factor in everything. So that way I believe that the gap of not having value for money type of institution is something which inspired me. I have crossed 50 and I think I have come to a stage where I should look for something more philanthropic, more meaningful thing. I'm not saying that I have joined any charitable organization, but I would like to have a program which is offering value for money courses, value of money degree, and as students are getting ROI of more than 1. And there are good number of institutions which are also offering. I know a few. But problem is probably they do not have all India presence or global presence. So that is the only difference thing which I am going to probably aspire for BSM. We would like to have a B school which is having national level and global level presence, but side by side ensuring that value for money is also direct.
Okay. So that is kind of convincing. And if you go through Badruka in general and what the program offers, we've seen that it's a AI native B school. Okay. Now I've heard this since AI has become now a buzzword. We have heard it so many times. Now every B school is claiming to be AI native and everything. What are you offering different which would convince students that it's actually AI native and not just another course where you're just maybe putting in 100 hours of AI? What is different at Badruka about AI?
I'll define it differently.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not claiming, I haven't talked about AI, you started this AI thing. What I believe that technology keeps on changing. And you have to have following the technology centric. That I'm practicing for last 26, 27 years, even 2 years before when I was completing my MBA program. So my mind works along with the technology. I have never been at this stage also. I am pro technology and I am reasonably well versed with technology. So there's nothing which is new to talk about, harp on this AI thing. I mean, you can't avoid. Today is this, yesterday was something, and tomorrow something else will come. So what I'm trying to tell, Badruka is a value for money, new aged new age B school. When I'm saying new age means whatever is going to happen in terms of technology, you'll find that it is there. And Hyderabad, the best part of the story is that Badruka School of Management is in Hyderabad. Hyderabad is completely driving the technology. It's in thick of the affairs of technology. So I think to answer your question, technology is going to be part and parcel of Badruka School of Management as well. Because I am very clear, no institution, progressive institution can survive if they are not adopting. Rather, they have to proactive. They should see what is going to happen in next year, next to next year. So what I'll have very strong conviction. This is what I have practiced all throughout my career. Here also you will find that we will be ahead of technology. We'll always be adopting whatever is going to happen, not to speak of whatever is happening. That includes AI, AI native, everything. You will find that it would be part and parcel of the value proposition which we will be delivering to our students. And one more thing I would like to add here. There are a good number of academicians or head of the institutions. They say that we are not a placement agency. But my idea is slightly twisted here. I believe that whatever you are doing, whatever value proposition you are giving to the student, if that is not helpful in making them placeable, then that value proposition is not completed. So I believe if I will be able to place my student in a better companies at a higher package in a better profile, I think that will be in itself an evidence that we are ensuring that our programs are giving imparting value, which includes keeping them technology savvy and ahead of technology. So that answers your question that we are not going to lag behind in any way when it comes to anything in terms of technology.
Okay, now that you mentioned about the training of your students, we'll hold that thought. Before that, I have another question about Badruka School of Management's, learning pedagogy. So there's also block teaching method that is being followed. There is also, pre-academic learning that is being followed. So do you think block teaching is just another kind of timetable, or is it actually effective for the students in general, like for their learnings, for their practical learnings?
Disha, my answer to this question is very practical. I am a person who always proactively do something or the other to ensure that that value proposition is ensured. So if this block teaching is stays there, if it is helpful in ensuring that value is imparted, it will continue. Academics also, if I find that it is useful, it will stay. So nutshell, whatever is useful, that will continue. Whatever is not useful will be twisted, will be replaced, will be modified, will be adapted to the present situation. But what is not going to change my conviction, my commitment that a student should be imparted value so that they can be placed, they are placeable, and they can be placed in the best possible organization, in the best possible profile. So that is something which is constant. And rest of the methodology, technology, all those things will come and go. I'm not saying that is the only thing, tomorrow something else. So you can't be dependent upon one thing or the other for that matter. Whatever will be needed will be done.
Okay, now let's go back to our conversation about training students. In general, B schools claim that we provide practical exposure, yet corporates have to go through a lot of training, methodologies, traineeships, internships, and in general, there's a 6 month period where a corporate company is basically training the students. So, do you think somewhere down the line B schools are lacking? And if they're lacking, what are you claiming that here, if a Badruka student goes, they would not require that training?
I'll answer you by giving two details, two points. One is I have very strong proponent of student driven ecosystem. People can perceive student driven ecosystem in both ways, as if we are using a student to do what a B school should do. Other way is that students are doing training while they are doing the MBA program. So I have believed that that is the second part which is more correct. So that way you will find that things are always done by me. I mean, it's my always very supported idea. Second thing, what I would like to share with you, that when you are in a city like Hyderabad, then roping in companies who will be able to give live projects, because location is not a problem here. In my previous stint there was a problem because I was at a locationally disadvantageous place, but no longer now. Here getting the live projects or more practical exposure, that to technology centric, is very easy. So I have absolute clarity what exactly should be done in terms of on site or on job training. So that I think that we are locationally better placed at Badruka School of Management. Idea is very clear to me that I have very strong, again, I believe that 25% learning or 30%, one third learning takes place in the classroom. Two-third learning takes place outside the classroom. When I say I'm including that student driven ecosystem. So now we'll add the more practical exposure in terms of sending students for live projects or some more internships. And here it is possible that students can continue their program, they can attend classes, and they can attend, can go to the company physically as well as online. They can do it. It is much more suitable to be in Hyderabad and pursue this idea. So a student-driven ecosystem can be done at any place, but availability of live projects, internships are much more easily done at Hyderabad. So I think that I'm in a better, more comfortable situation when I strongly believe in value proposition, delivering value to the student, making them more placeable, more useful, employable for the corporate.
So you're saying that, while the students are doing their MBA, you would rope in more life projects and internships for them so that they could juggle between their classes. But Badruka School of Management has not been a student driven management school before you, and now it would, it's on the path to become student driven. Do you think the students would be able to? So you have your strong conviction, you have the belief that you will be doing it, but do you think the students are mentally prepared to take up that? Because as we all know that in general a MBA schedule is very hectic schedule. So say you're bringing in life projects or internships, or I'd say even on ground activities of the college, do you think students will be able to take it up very happily and stand on your conviction?
I'll answer your question in my own way. You understand your circle of influence.
Yeah.
You cannot influence everything. So when I was a teacher, whatever courses I used to teach, students were having a lot of practical exposure because that was my circular influence. When I became dean in Tyagaraja School of Management, my circular influence went up. Again, I ensured that student-driven ecosystem stays, and you won't believe in 3 years time period when I was at Tyagaraja School of Management, that also became part and parcel student-driven ecosystem. As I came to, as my role is changing in whichever role I am, and whatever circle of influence I am having, in that circle of influence, my approach had always been student-driven ecosystem, or when practically a teacher only, I used to say activity-based learning. I never went for theoretical learning. I always believed in activity-based learning. Now you can have a larger, bigger term. I call it student-driven ecosystem. So, whatever circle of influence I have right now, so I have never failed so far. In my 27 years, I am serving eighth, seventh or eighth institution. So I think I have always been able to do it. So why should BSM be an exception? Here also I will be able to do it. I have never failed. And one more thing, just to support this argument, if you are doing something which is meaningful, and again I say, if it is win-win proposition, institution also get benefited, students also get benefited, then I don't think so. It is difficult to sell this win-win proposition. So I have never found this a problem that students have not taken up this idea of student-driven ecosystem. They also get benefited, institute also get benefited in having a student-driven ecosystem. So I don't think so there is any point that it will not fructify here.
Okay, so we'd see that. Another such a hypothetical question just came up in my mind. Say, for example, there is this person XYZ person who graduated from BSM and it's 2030, and if the person says that I'm a BSM graduate, what do you think that word would mean? Because if I come from a prestigious institution, even if I take a name, it would be enough. Like, people are not going to question my education. But if a BSM graduate stands in 2030 and says I'm a BSM graduate, what do you think that person or a student would be called for specifically?
Disha, this kind of situation will be with any B school, and we are not very exceptionally high end. I can name, but I'm not taking for obvious reasons. So that problem will be there. But I would like to share with you there are more than 10,000 people, those who have passed out from Badruka institutions. So Badruka per se, a name, is not new. People are serving even good number of chartered accountants in Hyderabad. They have done their courses from Badruka only, the commerce courses. So Badruka in combined Andhra is not a problem. But outside it would be a problem. I'm not saying it will not be. We are ensuring that gradually people will become aware about Badruka. And Disha, when you are doing good job, when you are ensuring that students are having good things, so gradually the brand will pick up. But I'm not claiming that we are going to become another big brand. No, that's practically impossible. But we are not aspiring for that. What we are aspiring is that the student should be imparted value, they should get placed in terms of having better salaries and better profiles, and they should deliver value back to the organization wherever they are going to serve. If this cycle gets over, then I don't think so. Rest of the things are okay, whether they are there or not. But if this value chain is happening, I think I'm doing my job. I would have done my job if I could do that much. So I think I'm not competing. I'm not aspiring that would like to be another big name, big brand. No, that's not the aspiration, and that's not the aspiration of the Badruka group. Also, what we are aspiring is we would like to have a B school which is known national and global level, and having a known for value for money and new age B school means technology wise we should be ahead of many people. I can I know many institutions, you are very well. I know that what kind of technology centricity is there. They are big brand, but technology centricity is unknown. I know I'm old hand in this profession. So no brand, but we are having the technology centricity, value proposition, and value for money. I think that that's what I am aspiring for, and I hope within 3 to 5 years' time, Disha, I'm thinking that we'll be able to do it. I'm 95% certain. 5%, that's always something which God's wish is always there. If God's grace, everything goes as planned, then I'm 95% sure that we will be able to do it. But we are not at all competing to become another brand, no. But what we are competing for, that I have told you, and aspiration is just to become a national player, serious player.
Okay. So, as the current director of Badruka School of Management, if I ask about your 3 year vision in terms of whatever you have said, so let's segregate it into two parts. You talked about ROI, you talked about statistics. So I would like to know the 3 year vision for statistics. Maybe you can talk about how the placements would look like or what would be the number of students. And second thing that you've specifically mentioned is, you want to take Badruka on a national and a global level. So how would you achieve the global level? National, we'll figure it out. But like what's your 3 year vision for the global level? So if you could answer it in two buckets.
In my previous stint, also, I started one internationalization cell, and we started working. And you have also gone to Paris, if I remember correctly. So, but I'm not saying that I'm going to do in the foreseeable future, at least not 1 or 2 years down the line. That's not my focus. I tell you, my idea of B school education is very clear. I believe if a student passed out from my institution can get placed in a good organization at a good profile, good salary, that is the real evidence of value proposition. If you are continuously year on year delivering this, it means no corporate will hire from a B school unless until the student has value. Because this era is not of certification, not of degree. Now we are in a time period practically is of skill based. So the students are having those skill sets which can deliver value to the corporate. That corporate will come again and again to us. So everything eventually boils down to a situation where students are getting placed or not. And as I have very strongly told at different forums earlier as well, you cannot artificially do it at a sustainable level. You want this to be sustainable proposition. Means every year you want companies to come and hire from you, and every year you look forward to that more salary, better packages, better profiles. Then I think that can be achieved only when you are doing all the other things in a proper way. So my 3 years plan is very clear. I have to have best possible placement in terms of quantity and in terms of quality. And if I can achieve that, so trust me, it cannot be achieved unless until you have done rest of the things in a proper way. So evidence of doing everything in a proper way is this, that students are getting placed in a better organization, at a better profile and a better package. So that is what my goal is.
And if
That
I
will
talk
also ensure ROI because I understand the Badrukas have got their own vision. They are a philanthropic organization. So ROI is something is going to be there. You will find that we'll be a serious player in offering value for money B school education. So placement and ROI is something which I can take for granted because that is not never going to be the approach of the Badrukas. So that is always there. So my goal is very clear to have ROI, maintaining ROI of more than one, and having a package, organization, profiles which is comparable to the best B schools. I think that will serve the purpose. That will be the real evidence of performance.
Okay, so in one of your videos, you said that current package, highest package of PSM is somewhere around 15, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
and you aspire it to be somewhere around 2025 in the coming year. Do you stand by that right now as well?
I'll start with 20 plus. In that very video, I said that I'm aspiring that 27 batch should cross 20,
Yeah.
and that goes without saying. I'm trying very hard. Still, coming here, I was having a long discussion with my placement team, and we have geared up for the performance, and again 95% certain, Disha, that we will be able to achieve the placement of more than 20 LPA for the batch 2027.
Okay.
95% certain, 5% I'm again keeping it with
That's on
myself.
God's grace. 5% is on God. Okay, so while going through a few other starts of Badruka, I realized that you guys have a lot of big brands when it comes to internships. So you have IKEA coming in, you have Swiggy coming in, if I'm not wrong. So for a new institution, these brands are very big. Do you think students would be able to learn enough to convert these into PPO if there is an opportunity, or you would aim for bigger brands or bigger names?
Brand wise, I cannot talk like this because I don't know, because this is the company's experience with the kids, how they have found the student. But in general, as we say, we will surely try to have as many PPOs as possible, not only this year but next year's also. So that is always there, that we always aspire for. But company wise, I cannot say. But this is correct that good number of quality companies, famous known companies have also where students have gone for their summers, and they have been placed also 26 batch. So I think again, when they have taken our students, they decide to come next year. It means something they have got from our student. They have realized, they have found that students are of value. They are having the skills. That is again the same thing. We are talking the same thing, as I said. If that is happening, it means we are genuinely delivering value to these students.
Okay, so as you mentioned that you try your best to convert the highest PPOs, you've mentioned about student-driven culture training on ground and everything. But is there a specific plan that you have in place where you're gonna train students for the corporate, maybe for their interviews, for their GDs, for their presentations, for working? Is there a plan in place, or it's like a longer go?
My the very first thing which I do when I join a B school is obviously try to have B school as student-driven ecosystem there. That way, some sort of training starts on its own. And again, I have of this idea that cosmetic changes should not be will not going to take you for long. If you want sustainable placement, good quality placements every year, year on year, then you have to ensure that product, these students are really imparted value. So my approach is going to be very clear. My plans are ready. That I have to ensure that what are the gaps, and a lot of technology-driven interventions I'm thinking. For example, now I'll share with you AI thing. AI lab is practically getting shape, and I have already asked the faculty. We have already in every domain area, marketing, finance, HR, what are the important AI tools which should be known to students. So we are going to have one AI lab. Plans are ready. Probably within next week or 10 days we'll be having that. So by the time students come, we will be ensuring that value in terms of learning those AI tools should be with them. They should have acquired this skill, and that's not the end of it. I'll keep on seeing that what are the more things, because my interaction with corporate helps me in understanding that what they want. The other day, I was talking to a high-end corporate. He suggested that two video editing, marketing AI tools. He said that anyone has got mastery on this, and I will offer a job. So I immediately pointed out, and at least one I'm having in my list, which will be installed, which will be made available in AI Lab, and a student will be in marketing domain will be requested, rather practically you can say, persuaded, whatever it is, and they will be learning these skills. So that is the plan. My plan for value addition in terms of technology centricity is there. And then when it comes to cosmetic, I call it cosmetic changes, because when you prepare students for interview, prepare students for GD, my idea of this is different. Students are good, but probably they are unable to communicate, and that's why this kind of training of resume building, their LinkedIn profile, their mock GD, mock PI, these things are done just because students are good, but they are having some problem in expressing that. So cosmetic training, which I always ensure that should be given, is done so that whatever they have, they are genuinely be able to express. So yes, my plans for both are absolutely ready. I'm waiting for our second year students to join from 20th of July. And as they join, I have started creating the groundwork. I have a meeting today at 5:30, 5 to 6 from the placement team. In this line only, I have to ask them to get ready, inform the student that as they join, they have to immediately focus on these two things. Validation in terms of technology, latest technology, whatever it is, whatever missing, I don't know. I have to, start talking to them individually or in groups, smaller groups, and then I'll figure out that what are the, gaps. And I think the placement will start from the month of August, September. So by the time within 2, 3 months we'll start, and I think that I'll be giving them training, value-based training up to December. And these cosmetic changes, as I say, resume building and all those things will also be. So my plans are ready. We are practically going to roll out today evening itself. And today I'm talking about this 30th of June. So 20 days I'm going to have more preparation along with the students so that they are also on board with me. Because all of a sudden you bombarded them with the ideas. No. So I'm trying to bring and establish the bridges. I'm just trying to fix things, gearing up, making them ready for the changes which they are going to have from 20th onward. So yeah, to answer your question, I'm 100% ready.
Just for fun's sake, I have this question. Now, batch 2028, I'd say, which will come, they would be, equipped with you because they'll just join. But what about batch 2027? When they left the college, they probably saw somebody else. Now they're going to come back and they're going to see the entire college, which has changed, a new leadership, which is there. How do you think that, the swift change, you'd probably bring in a swift change, or students would intake? Is it going to be tough for you, or is it going to be just just another change for you? I don't know, maybe students will be like, what happened to our college?
I'll share with you. I have the same experience in my previous stint also. This batch, which see the transition, they are always having some or the other problem, which is I understand from their point of view. Good thing that whatever was not done will be done in terms of imparting value and providing them a better job opportunity. That goes without saying. You also know.
Yeah.
I'm an expert in this area. My focus is always to make them more employable and getting them placed. It's not that cosmetically getting them placed. No, I ensure that they are employable and then help them to get placed. So that way they will be better off. That you and me and those who know me, they know that that's going to happen. But yes, culturally things will change, and resistance to change is so obvious. A new CEO come to any organization, all the employees, a few resign, a few become discomfortable. So it is very obvious. But that goes with students also. But just because I have experience in last, leadership position, so this time I'll be a little more softer. I'll be trying to understand them more instead of enforcing what I think. Rather, more my approach will be more persuasive, listening to them and trying to sell instead of enforcing things. But you become wiser, with every experience. I'll surely do something to ensure that they feel comfortable to the extent possible.
Okay, with that note, anything you would like to say to upcoming batch, and then we can end it here.
Disha, I would like to really tell to the batch 2028 that BSM is going to be a force to be reckoned with very soon, because we are working very hard, and I have the idea and I'll surely work. So joining BSM at this juncture will not be a bad idea. And as I said, you should definitely compare other B schools when I'm saying that our ROI is more than one. So when it comes to value for money, I still have very strong belief that BSM is a very nice place. And yeah, I'm saying 13 LPA highest salary is no salary, 8 LPA average is no LPA that way. So we are trying to push, and as I said that I would like to have 27 batch having the highest salary more than 20 LPA. So by the time 2028 batch goes for the placement, I think will be relatively more comfortable position. So that's the message which I would like to share with the batch upcoming batch 2028, and that's the message which I would like to share with the students, upcoming students.
Thank you very much. For whoever is watching, I would like to say that if you guys have any doubts or any queries, you can always drop to BSM's page, and we try to take as many as possible. And all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you.